So welcome to Past, Present, Future, the Full Circle podcast. On this podcast, we will be speaking to artists, managers, label owners, stylists, really anyone involved within the UK music and rap industry. The aim is to give you a full circle overview on their life, their past, their present, and obviously their future. I'll get into it with a little intro. So it is episode 12, Past, Present, Future. Mm-hmm. We're going to remold the name today to fall in alignment with the Lost Girl name, but we are here with Lost Girl. So before we kind of go into the crux of the conversation, it'd be great if you could introduce yourself and then we can kind of go from there.
Sure. Hi, my name's Lost Girl. I'm 22. I'm from Reading, and I'm a singer and songwriter. Trying to, make my dreams come true, I guess. Mm-hmm. That's me. How else would I describe myself? I'm a Virgo, the best.
And we can potentially come into the significance or non-significance of star signs moving forward in the conversation.
Exactly.
But within this first section, so we normally brand it past, but falling in alignment, like I say, with your name. So I'd like to more explore the lost element to your name within this section and see if we can kind of get to the bottom of why you were, why potentially you are lost, and the connotations of that, and go from there. But I mean, to start at the very beginning, like how would you describe your upbringing?
My upbringing was complicated. Always definitely full of love. I had a lot of support around me, but there was just a lot of external things happening that could affect, my perception of things and stuff like that. Like I found like expressing myself really hard. I always felt misunderstood and not heard sometimes.
Why do you think that was?
I don't know. I just feel like my mum and dad were going through their own things and they were like battling their own struggles while I was also battling mine. And, like only now, like me and my mum starting to see eye to eye. Now she's like my best friend. But growing up, we had our problems. We had problems like... because I was a bit naughty.
I was going to say, so, I mean, to go into it, what did those problems look like?
I guess, just, like, I always had a lot to say. Like, I've always been really opinionated and always really, I guess, liked the sound of my own voice when I was young. And I just didn't feel like I could really express how I felt like properly to my mum because I didn't want her to be mad at me for like things I'd done and that. So that's eventually like why I did start writing music, because I would just sit and sing the songs to her instead of telling her how I felt. So yeah, but my upbringing was beautiful in a way that I had like lots of cousins, loads of siblings, and lots of really strong women in my family to like look up to and lead by example kind of thing.
Yeah, it's interesting you mentioned about like scribing your thoughts down then singing them. A lot of people say like to write a letter is the easiest way to explain yourself because you don't feel the pressure and you can just push that across to the person. They can digest it in their own time.
Yes, 100%.
And then it comes across better. So yeah, that's super interesting. And in terms of, I'm quite interested to dive into like the academia within your life and the reasons for that. So you mentioned you were misunderstood.
Yes.
So what did school look like?
So growing up in a predominantly white area, I was like one of maybe like 5 black girls in my year. So straight away, I was always seen as intimidating. I was always seen as like the loudest and, people had no reason to be intimidated by me because I would never fight and stuff like that. That wasn't me. But I was just so opinionated and so like strong with my words that people, they would be a little bit intimidated about of me at times, and that used to upset me a lot because I felt like I was a good person and that I was kind, and people had no reason to feel like that about me, but it didn't change anything. So when I say misunderstood, I mean like teachers, students, other people just always, I don't know, they just saw me as like aggressive instead of passionate, when all I wanted to do was to get across how I felt about things, but sometimes it would just be like misconstrued to be like maybe a bit too dominant or a bit too loud or something like that.
Yeah, and you said it made you sad, but like,
Yeah.
how would you describe the actual feelings at the time?
It was horrible. Like, I remember one thing that really sticks out to me is one time I was walking through the corridors and someone like sort of like held the door open for me, and like as I would walk, people would like move out of my way, and I'd be like, I'd turn to my friends and be like, why are they doing that? Like, I'm not that girl. Like, and they knew that. They all like knew that I was a good person, but I just felt like other people just didn't see necessarily the kindness that I had because of how like hard-faced I was. Sure. And sometimes I could be quite harsh, like with my words sometimes, but
That's understandable though. And I think you mentioned hard-faced, and sometimes a hard face or that exterior can be like just a massive mask for someone who's incredibly vulnerable underneath. Which
that's exactly what it was. Yeah, but nobody would have known that, because growing up I felt like I always went through things way earlier before everyone else did for my age. So I had older friends, older boyfriends, and I was exposed to things way before all of my friends. So my brain was just developing a lot quicker. So my responses to the like petty arguments that were happening in school wasn't like anyone else. So everyone just thought, oh, do you know what I mean? She's having a go. But actually I was like 3 years above in the way my head was thinking. And I was like, what are we doing? Why are you girls arguing over this? Or why are you being horrible to blah, blah? And I'd be like the mediator. I'd be like, right, you speak. Go on then, right, cool, right, you speak now. All right, make up, kiss up and be friends now. That was me in school. But by the end of my school life, people started to see that, and people would come to me when they had problems, and if they felt like they were being bullied or someone was being picked on, and then I would be the first to go over and basically cuss out everyone. Let's stop that right now.
So within school life, and thank you for being so honest, by the way, it's an incredible story, but within that school life and the academia that you're clearly blessed with, I read, I think it was in a Notion magazine, that your number one goal growing up was to go to Oxford and to study law. You've just explained how you were misunderstood, you were naughty at school, etc. And these two messages to me from like an outsider, that they kind of don't add up, someone that wants to go to Oxford. So it got me wondering, how much did you personally actually want to go to Oxford? So
in like year 7 and 8, I was like the class clown. I just wanted to make everyone laugh, but I was always smart. So I always concentrated and achieved highly, but messed around after and before kind of thing. And then I got to year 10 and a few of my teachers kind of pulled me and was like, Jo, you have massive potential to actually achieve really highly if you put your mind to it. And they put me in all of the top set classes. Which I couldn't be the class clown in because no one would laugh at me.
Sure.
They was just like, shut up, we want to work. So I had to kind of like knuckle down, and I always wanted to be really smart. I always wanted to be the smartest in the room. And I had a best friend called Lydia, who's still my best friend now and has been for about 17 years. And she was just as smart as me, if not smarter. So I was like, we was always in healthy competition, and I always wanted to achieve higher than her, but in a great way.
Yeah.
And where I was just so good at arguing, I was like, I could be a lawyer. So I set my eyes on that goal. But then because I was like in limbo a lot, because I loved singing.
Yeah.
But I loved academics, and I loved, writing out all my notes in nice, pretty colours, and that was what it was all about for me. And then, I just had to make a decision, really. Like, am I going to go academically or am I going to go creatively?
Yeah. We can go into that, but I'm kind of wondering, so the law thing specifically, how much of a goal was that driven by like external influences such as parents?
So, my parents never really minded what I did. As long as I achieved highly in it, and as long as, it was something I cared about. My granddad was different. He really wanted me to be like one of the first to graduate in my family. Like, no one has really done that. So he really wanted me to do law, but if I didn't, it wasn't like a big issue.
Okay.
But I guess I did want to prove to my family that I was smart, and because growing up I had a lot to say, I wanted to back it up with facts. And I would sometimes be kind of like knocked down by my family. Oh, Jo, you're young, like you don't know what you're talking about. And for me, that was like the fuel to the fire. Like, okay, cool, I'm going to find out what exactly what you're talking about. And then the next conversation, I'm going to have a lot to add, because I always felt like I just wanted to be advancing in my mind and with knowledge. I always think knowledge is power. So I did things like psychology, history, English. They were like my best subjects. And I used to get like really, really good scores in them.
Really?
And then I'd be so excited to come home and tell my family. Do you know what I mean?
Quick one. We work with a lot of up-and-coming urban artists across the UK who are seeking press assistance, radio airtime, creative marketing solutions, and really all-round artist development within an industry that is constantly evolving. Which is why when we had the opportunity to partner with the 1994 Collective on this podcast, it made perfect sense. So to any aspiring artists that are seeking commercial success, please do get in contact with the 1994 Collective and let them know we sent you. I was interested in, again, something that I read when I was doing my preparation was like the tattoo story. So which I guess essentially maybe psychologically was you saying, right, okay, like the academic route is no longer viable, is not something that I want to do. I want to go creatively. So talk to me about that story and the thought process behind, I guess, physically stamping your authority on I guess an artistic route.
That was really scary for me. When I got Lost Girl tatted, I didn't know that was what my artist name was going to be.
Oh, really?
No, I had no. It was like years after that I decided, cool, maybe I'm Lost Girl. But at the time, I just really felt like that. I really felt completely lost. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I had no sense of direction. But one thing I did know was that I weren't going back to school. I dropped out of school in my second year at college. So I did my AS levels, didn't achieve what I wanted to achieve. And I think that kind of just made me want to give it up kind of thing. And yeah, I've lost my train of thought.
But in terms of, so what we were talking about is like the tattoo, and I guess it signifies you like making the decision within your mind and cementing the fact that you're not going down that academic route.
It was literally that. I got the snake and the this at the exact same time, and it was literally a massive FU to ever get in a job like in, you know,
corporate,
especially in court as well. Like if I wanted to be a lawyer, I wasn't going to be able to have like loads of hand tattoos and stuff like that. And I was just like, what can I do? I didn't tell my mum. I didn't tell anyone I was doing it. I just came home and was like,
what was the reaction?
My mum was fuming straight away. And then she was like, I don't mind it. Do you know what I mean? But it was weird because I didn't have many other tattoos before that. Now I've got a lot more, so it looks like it fits more. But at the time I was little, I was literally like 18. I don't even know how I pulled that off.
I'm just thinking about this out loud, and you were talking earlier about how you would sing your mum, essentially the emotions that you wanted to portray to her. How similar would you say the action of getting that tattoo was in terms of saying to your mum, I'm lost?
I feel like that's exactly what it was. I feel like I just wanted for her to understand what I'd been going through without telling her directly, but also knowing that she'd been through similar things and that a lot of her journey kind of contributed to mine.
You said what I was going through. What were you going through?
Oh gosh, just so many things. Like, but I got my heart broken so many times, like really badly as well. You know, like boyfriends being with friends and just doing the absolute most to me, kind of thing. And I felt like my heart was just like stomped on and stomped on and stomped on until it didn't actually feel anything anymore. I got to that weird place where I didn't care about a thing. I didn't feel anything. But that's why when I started writing music, I felt everything again. And I had like an emotion. I had a way to depict my emotion in physical form, which was really weird for me because the thoughts never left my brain. They never came out of my mouth, like anything that was happening.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm thinking about that situation and with like the boyfriends and stuff like that, and how much has that affected like relationships with friends? Because you spoke about your struggles at school and maybe you didn't have that many friends, and then you just referenced the fact that boyfriends were going with friends and depleting that group even more. Yeah,
so like in school I have my best friends, right? So they're the ones that I was in from year one, they've been my best friends. Their names are Lydia, Jess and Chanel. So that's since, if I was 5 and I'm 22 now, 17 years. They've never changed. They've always been there. And then an Eden was added in year 7. So they are my core. But when I came into year 7, I strayed from them and started hanging around with an older group of girls within the school. So those were the ones that did me wrong. Those were the ones that, you know, taught me all of my valuable lessons about friends. But I always had my other friends to bring me back to life and to, you know, let me know that everything was okay. Sure. Like Lydia never left my side throughout the whole thing. She came with me and you know, we did everything together and we left the group together. We made the decision to be like, right, this isn't serving us anymore. We're better than this. We don't want to be involved in stuff like that. Because, you know, they say the birds with the same feathers flock together.
Yeah.
And I live by that. I really think that your friendship group shows a lot about you. So, you know, after a lot of, quite frankly, painful experiences within that situation, I was like, you know,
you're done.
I don't need y'all no more. I'm going to be a singer. I'm literally going to do that. And that was where the focus completely went to.
Yeah. Let's go into that. But before we do so, one of the things that I love about this podcast is we speak to people about very intimate, tough things and we get their take on it, which I think inspires others that are going through similar things. But also it's great to get advice from those people that have clearly experienced traumatic events and how they dealt with them and how they're here today. I mean, just before we move into the present and discuss the music and various other things and being found girl in the future, who knows? But what would you say was like the toughest period within your upbringing to now, and how did you get through that, and any advice for other people going through tough spells?
So my major situation before I signed, before I became Lost Girl, the main thing that kind of changed my entire life around was I got into a sort of like abusive relationship when I was like, not abusive in the way of like domestic violence, but like mentally abusive.
Manipulative.
Yeah, very manipulative, very like crazy person. And I literally deteriorated over the space of like 3 months. I lost like two stone. I was really, really skinny. And I was like, you know, smoking a lot and drinking a lot, being out till all hours of the morning, you know, coming in at 7 a.m, going back out at 7 p.m, not coming back till 7 a.m. And my mum was so worried about me. She used to like hug me and cry and just be like, Joe, like, you need to get out of this. Like, you need to stop. And I'd be like, leave me alone. Leave me alone. I'm fine. No one talk to me. And I got really, really ill. I had like these things called lymph nodes in my armpit, which is like big, like balls when you're like stressed, and they're really painful. I ended up having like 6 in each armpit at one point. There was nothing to me really. I was really not taking care of myself. And one day I woke up and was like, I'm not doing this anymore. Like I literally had that light switch moment where it was like, boom, I'm done. And I cut off everyone, literally cut off absolutely everyone toxic in my life. And I somehow found the strength to get myself back on my feet. And that's when I got signed. It was literally like a couple of months after that. So I was looking for management and I was like, I'm going to do this music thing. I'm going to start posting covers. I'm going to start, you know, I'm going to be a singer and like F all of you lot basically. And it was hard to get out of that situation. Do you know what I mean? It wasn't easy in any way. It was very, very toxic. But I did it and I had the help of my friends and my family and, you know, everyone was in the know about what was going on and stuff. And then, then I signed and I was like, cool, I'm letting go of that part of my life. But that shaped me a lot. And I'm still now, you know, 2-3 years down the line, still trying to get the weight back on. Because I was way bigger before. I was a lot more healthier. And now it's hard. I've got like a really high metabolism. So no matter how much I eat.
Or drink.
Got my protein shake here. It doesn't help much, but I'm happier and I'm healthier and I don't get lymph nodes anymore. So I think we're good.
Well, you look really well. So
Thank you.
No, you look good.
Thanks.
So you spoke about getting signed,
Yeah.
and we're going to transition into the present phase or the searching phase of the lost, searching, found.
Girl,
So to go into that, another thing that I read is that you were giving 50% to like your academics and then 50% to music. And you said that the moment you gave 100% was when everything took off.
Yes.
What I'm interested to know within that 100% is, I think from a creative perspective, from an artist perspective, not a lot of people understand the work rate that goes into being successful. So what does 100% to music look like from a work rate perspective?
So I was working at Thames Water for a couple of years, which I'm always really thankful to my manager for, because I had absolutely no experience. I'd never worked in an office place at all before, but he really liked me for some reason. He was like, I'm going to give this girl a chance. So I was working there, but I would secretly be writing remixes and covers in the corner of my computer. And when they'd come over, I'd quickly shut it off. And then as soon as I'd get home, at least one of my friends would come round, or two. One would have the camera, one would have the light.
Sick.
And I would shoot one of my covers. And I did it every single day for about, I don't know, what's like between 3 and 6 months, I would say. Some of them did well, some of them didn't. You know, some got 100,000 views, some got 2,000, some got 400,000. And Rising Talents was picking up a lot of my videos, showing mad support. And it was hard because I was tired. Like, I'd come home from work and all my friends would like nap and stuff, and I'd be like, I want a nap, but I just couldn't. I was like, I need to do this, and I don't want to work at Thames Water anymore. So if me being consistent means that I'm going to get seen, then I'm going to do that until, you know, I get seen. And then I did. And it was literally, it was so weird how it happened, because I remember like I was looking around for managers and I was going and meeting new people and stuff, and I came home and I was like, I don't want any of them. I'm not happy. I don't think I can like go and sign anything, or, you know, and stuff like that. And then it was literally like a couple of weeks later that Tiny, when it came into my DMs, and my whole life was like, oh my God. Oh my gosh, it was crazy.
How would you describe how you felt the moment you saw that blue tick pop up?
My heart dropped. My heart literally dropped, and I clicked on it to think, because I thought it was a fake. I thought it was like a fake thing just messaging me. And I've seen, you know, brackets 900 and something thousand followers, and I was like, oh my God. And he's like, come to the studio like when you can. I want to hear what you've been doing and stuff. So literally that day, me and my friend Jess hopped on a train to London. And it was funny because my phone died on the way, so I didn't have the address. Then I had to go to Subway, plug in my phone, sit in there for about 20 minutes. I was late. I was thinking, oh God, like they're going to think that I'm not, do you know what I mean? Because I'm late. Then we couldn't find the place for ages, because it's really hard to find the studio when you first go there. And then, I remember I went in and I sung just some stuff I've written in my book. I've been writing to YouTube beats for a while. And, you know, the songs were whack. Like, when I look back now, I'm like, God, like, I really thought they were great. I thought they were smash hits ready to go. And I remember, you know, like, saying to Xavier and Tiny and stuff, like, no, this needs to come out now. And they'd be like, Joe, this isn't the one. It's not the right time. And I'd be like, no, it is. Trust me. But, you know, they saw something in me that I didn't. They saw that I could write, and they saw like the determination that I had, and the consistency as well. And as soon as I met them, I just felt like I was home. I felt like I felt understood, and I felt like they had a lot of time for me, and they wanted to develop me. So that's what I did. I signed like a management deal with them, and we developed me for maybe like 2.5 years before we even thought about like deals and signing and stuff, because I had a long way to go. Like, my voice wasn't as good as it is now. My writing was a little bit less advanced. So I just did so many sessions, loads of different producers, engineers and stuff like that, finding my sound until I made, I don't know, I'd say like 6 tracks that we were all like,
these are the ones.
One of them was I Won't Give Up.
Okay.
One of them was Rockabye. The other one was Forever. So it's weird how my first EP features, you know, and Arizona, that was within the first bunch.
That's one of my favourites, by the way.
Thank you. Appreciate it. It's one of mine too. It's one of mine. It always had my heart, that one, from the day I made it. But yeah, it's crazy to think that the first songs that I really made are the ones that people love now.
Yeah.
When I was just like an 18-year-old girl, just writing, you know, I won't give up on you.
Oh God, it's funny that you mentioned about the emotions with the blue tick. Like when Tiny came in, like I experienced it about a week and a half ago. Yeah, no, it was good. But I wanted to go into today. So like you spoke about kind of the music. So what are you focusing on today?
Today, I'm focusing on making bangers. I spend the majority of my time in the studio. I never leave. It's literally my home. I wish I could set up a bed and a shower in the studio because I would live. I would live there. But no, right now I'm focusing on, growing my following, kind of putting out new music and different stuff to expand on my fan base and just hope that more people see me. Obviously, I'm super happy with the fact that I've got a project out, which a few years ago, I just would never have imagined that I've got like an actual piece of work. All of the songs written by myself, which to me is like a massive achievement.
Huge, yeah.
So I'm super happy and everything. But now I'm just like, I'm always looking forward. I'm like, what's next? And the project and the music that's to come next, I just think is so exciting.
Okay, well, we can go into next shortly. Yeah. There is one thing that I do want to speak to you about, which I kind of make a point of raising every time that we speak with a female within the industry. Yeah. Which is something that, credit to Chloe, she's promoted and that I absolutely want to discuss with everyone. So we've had this conversation with Daya, with Chloe, and now yourself. So I wanted to understand from your perspective what it is like being a female within the music industry, what injustices you face, how you get through them, and I guess those barriers, how do we knock them down?
I think it's there's pros and cons to being a female in this industry. I think, of course, the music industry is a crazy place to exist. There's a lot of different egos and different feelings, and everyone's kind of chasing similar success, which is hard. Being a female, for me, it hasn't been a massive problem for me. Okay. I wouldn't say that me being female has caused, any problems for me so far, but I do think it's really hard to grow as a female coming from the UK. I just feel like females are just not appreciated as they should be. I think, male artists link up and make songs together a lot. They show so much love to each other, but the females are a little bit different, where I feel like they feel like only one can win. Okay. Only one of us can win kind of thing. But to me, I think we all can, because I think we're all different. We all have different things to offer. And I made a point out of entering the industry, with doing a song with IVD, just to show that I'm willing to collaborate with females, and, I don't feel sort of like threatened by anyone, or I want to be friends. Do you know what I mean? I want to make friends as much as I can in this industry. I've always been like that. I want to find artists, that are like me and have gone through similar things, and we can help each other. But it's a lot of different energies, which is hard for me because I'm an empath. So when I'm around people, I feel everything and I take everything so personally. Oh my gosh, I take it personally. I'm like, oh my God, they hate me. Oh my God, they don't like me. But it's I don't know, it's just one of those things, isn't it? It's something I can't change. I'm a female, I'm in the industry. But all I can do is hopefully, God willing, I have more success, and then I'll be able to make some changes and show women that we can collaborate and we can all be successful together. And it's not a competition. You know what I mean? We can all win.
Love it. Facts. 100%. Thank you for going into it.
No problem.
So let's put a scenario on the table. So Lost is here. Yeah. There's 100-mile journey to Found. Yeah. How many miles have you travelled at this very moment in time to Found?
Oh gosh, do you know what? I feel like I definitely went from 0 to 50, maybe a few years ago. And then I went back to 25. And now I'm back and I'm probably about 16. Okay. I think there's a lot of things I have left to learn. Okay. I'm not silly and thinking that I know everything and that, I've experienced everything, because life is crazy and it constantly throws you things that you just cannot even imagine happening. But I definitely feel like I think I've gone through the worst of it. I don't feel like much else could knock me now, because of the resilience I've built up within myself. But I don't wake up every day and feel like I've found myself. Sometimes I think I don't know anything about myself. And I'll speak to Xavier or anyone else and I'll just be like, I'm going through it. I don't think I constantly have those days. I don't think I can do it. I'm not sure. I'm scared. I'm worried. And what if this doesn't work? Or what if that? But then at the same time, I have every faith that it's like a crazy amount of faith where people would actually think I'm crazy. The amount that I think is that I'm going to become something great. I don't know what yet, and I don't know how, but all I know is that I have something to offer to the world. But I'm just still figuring out how that's going to translate, you know what I mean, to a mass amount of people, which is hard. It's hard, this music game. Do you know what I mean? It's just like,
it's achievable.
You never know you never know whether something's going to happen or not. You never know if people are going to like things or not. So I feel like it's hard because I'm always putting like a piece of my heart out to the world and then just being like, hope you like it.
What happens if they don't? How do you feel?
You know, as I say, I take things really personally. That's something I'm working on because I can't, you know, there's going to be opinions, there's going to be things. But the main thing for me is just knowing that my music's helping people and that it's traveling and that people that need to hear it are hearing it. And it's helping them in the way that other music has helped me to become who I am and help me through things. So yeah, I guess that's my main aim. It's like just the wanting it to work.
Resonate. Yeah.
Pretty much, just so that I can then change the world, which has always been my biggest thing. I just want to make the world better.
Okay, so to go into changing the world, so you're at 60 at the moment.
Yeah.
So to transition into the future element of the podcast, what do you need to achieve, accomplish, attain in your future to reach that found place 100 miles down the line?
I guess, you know, having like a solid fan base that really, you know, love everything about Lost Girl and want to know everything about Lost Girl and be a part of my journey. And then, you know, for me to have personal connections with them. I want to do a lot of things. I want to combat homelessness. So I think if I can get to a point where I have enough of a voice, where I can start speaking out on like social issues, public issues that really affect me, that will make me feel like I found myself. So I think I will find myself through finding others.
Yeah.
Through helping other lost people be found. Because that's where my my peak of joy comes from. It's not writing a song or anything like that. It's actually seeing somebody happy. So if the music does that, that's beautiful. If my writing does that, that's beautiful. If what I'm wearing helps you feel more confident, or how I speak, or how I carry myself, or even what I ate for bloody dinner last night helps you out, that's all I care about. And I guess music is my avenue to that voice, which I've always wanted, right? To be understood and to have my voice heard without it being, you know, listen to me, but actually having people be like, okay, we want to hear what you have to say and we appreciate what you have to say because you've spent however many years getting the knowledge to speak on what it is you're talking about. So it kind of all does the full circle.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It does the full circle. I guess that is it, being understood and being heard.
Yeah, so I guess in short, your happiness is dictated by how happy you are able to make other people.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay. You referenced homelessness.
Yeah.
I'm interested. It might be for absolutely no reason at all, but quite often when there's a very specific goal to combat in the future, it's for a reason. Why is homelessness so central to your beliefs and something that you want to change?
For me, it's like homelessness, substance abuse, like alcoholism, and anything where you find yourself in a bit of a shit situation and you feel like, you know, you need help. And I don't feel like there's enough help. And I also feel like there's not enough compassionate people left. I feel like I go on the tube, I go into London, I see things and I see how people are and it makes me want to be sick. Because I just think, how can you not feel anything towards them, you know? You know when people come and beg on the tube and stuff and people just completely blank them. That really annoys me. Like I will look at you as if to be like, acknowledge they're a human being. Everyone, we're all human. Don't make people feel like that. Like that's the worst thing you could do. That's the worst thing.
I was just thinking about earlier in our conversation. So you spoke about like your boyfriends doing you wrong and stuff like that, and you mentioned that eventually you became numb and you didn't feel anything. So let's transfer that to this situation that we're talking about today. How much of that non-acknowledgement to, for sake of example, homeless people is because people have become numb?
do you know what? I feel like that's exactly right. I feel like there's a lot of people walking around feeling numb, but I think there's a difference in it. I think you can feel numb to emotions, and you can feel like you don't have, the feelings to give towards certain things. But I feel like that should never stop your compassion for others. So, you might not care about your girlfriend, or you might not care about your friend, but you can see someone in pain. You know what I mean? You can see someone who's clearly, I don't know, cold, hungry, whatever they're going through. They don't have a home to go back to like you do. Do you know what I mean? So whatever problem you're going through in the day, I can almost guarantee that it's not worse than sleeping out in the cold and starving. Do you know what I mean? So nothing that ever happened to me would change how I treat others. That's one thing I make sure of. But in terms, when I say that I became cold, I mean I became cold in terms of relationships and how I treated other people after my heart was broken.
Yeah.
And also just not feeling much at all. Sometimes I feel like I'm in a simulation. I'm just walking down the road and nothing's real, and I'm not even real. And the thoughts aren't real. Do you know what I mean?
I hear you.
I feel like that a lot, but then other times I completely feel within my body, and I feel the love, and I feel my heart coming back. So that's why I'm like 60% now, because I'm not that cold-hearted girl anymore. I'm finding the love
at this moment right now.
Right now, like I'm definitely within the love. I'm definitely on my way.
Okay.
I don't want to be toxic anymore. I don't.
Right now, though, in this room.
The love.
Oh, okay, cool.
Pure love, 100%. And always, I feel like in discussions like this, when it's so like open and and we're clearly comfortable to speak about these things, I think that's beautiful.
Yeah, for sure. So to talk about, I guess, the end and the pinnacle of the future, something that I always like to do with guests is to understand like what future message would you give to yourself in like 10 years down the line, for sake of example, so you can play this moment back and understand that you've achieved your wildest dreams.
Okay. I would say, Joe, you got this, girl. You've got it. You're going to do it. Just believe in yourself and believe in your music, believe in your heart and believe in your strengths. Don't think about everything that goes wrong all the time. Stop overthinking. It's not doing you any favors, love. And yeah, that's my message, really. You're going to look back in a few years and think, wow, I really did do it. So I'm proud of you, girl.
Facts. Good message. Very good message. Very good message.
Thank you.
I mean, before we go into like the final two questions that we ask everyone, is there anything from your future journey or aspirations that like I haven't managed to draw out of you that you would like to bring to light?
I guess my ultimate goal in life, like my main goal, is to have my own charity, have my own foundation called Lost Girl Foundation, where I help everyone, quite literally. I haven't pinpointed it to exactly what I want it to be for yet, because I care about everything. But I just want it to be a safe place for people that feel lost or need direction or need hope or need someone to just believe in them. Because sometimes I think all it takes is for you and one other to believe in you.
I agree.
And you're on your way. Not even one other, just you. But it always helps when you've got people around you that also believe that you can do it. It's nice. Do you know what I mean? To feel reassured. Exactly. You have an idea, you tell someone else it's great and they say it's great, and then you think, yeah, I could do it. So I guess it's just about surrounding yourself with people that also believe in what you do. People that aren't, going to dim your light, pretty much. People that are going to just shine more light, add value to you. So you can be the best you, which is better for the world.
Agreed. Increase that voltage. Yeah, right, okay. So to go into the final two questions, I mean, just to kind of wrap up in terms of like the conscious conversation, I just want to thank you firstly for your time,
no
for
problem.
your honesty, your transparency, your wisdom,
no problem
knowledge.
At all.
Any other adjectives that I can think of?
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. I feel really comfortable. I feel like it's the first time I've actually spoken about some of this stuff as well. So I'm glad that I shared it with you.
No, I appreciate it. You've had, is this your 16th interview?
It might be about 16th, 17th. No, I don't know. I just talk about music and stuff. Do you know what I mean? So this is different for me. But this is where I feel like I feel right. Do you know what I mean? Because I'm not just sugarcoating over all of the glossy stuff and being like, yeah, I'm Lost Girl, ha. Because really, there's like a lot more to that.
Yeah. Well,
than what meets the eye.
I'm glad we could get it out.
Of course.
Okay, so to wrap up, so the final two questions. Firstly, I'm just going to ask you, we ask everyone to nominate someone within their catalogue of connections, I always call it. So manager, artist, DJ, anyone really involved within the industry, who would you like to see on the podcast?
I would like to see one of three producers.
Okay.
Okan, Roundtree, and Slick Vic.
Okay.
They are three producers that I've been working with since the beginning of my career. All really, really highly talented and beautiful people. They've been in the game for a while too, so I definitely feel like they can drop some gems. But another person is my DJ. She's called Portia Walker.
Sick.
And she's been doing a lot of stuff recently in, with Nike, all different artists.
Sick.
And I think this year is going to be a big year for her too. So I think, she would be dropping some gems too.
Amazing.
Sure.
So
you better get your ass on the show. Okay.
Facts. And then finally, so we're interested in like exploring, I guess, problems or areas within the industry and like future content that we create. So, I mean, what would you say is like an unanswered topic or area within the industry, or like a specific area that you would like more light to be shed on?
I definitely feel like collaborations within the UK. I think there's a lot of talented people here. We are, sort of not running the music industry right now, but we're definitely up there with, a lot of big music is being influenced by what we're making here. I think there's a lot of talented people here, but we all like to keep our eggs in our own basket, and we don't like to, swap
Share
around
the
a little bit. We can all put our eggs together and make a nice bloody omelette instead of just your one fried egg. Do you know what I mean? We want an omelette. So I feel like we need to be linking up more. There needs to be more events where artists can link up and feel, maybe even, like 8 people in a room making a song. I think that's beautiful. Do you know what I mean? Producers, writers, artists, creatives, guitarists, pianists. There's so many ways that we could make like beautiful music here. I just think we all need to get out of our own arse a little bit and, find the light, which was a bit weird, that little hand gesture, wasn't it?
Swim through it.
Yeah, just swim through the shit, basically. But no, I think, collaborations especially for females, we need to be helping each other out. Do you know what I mean? We can do this together. And when we're up there, we're going to look and be like, oh, sick, we did this together, instead of it being like, I did this all on my own, because who wants that these days? We all just want to win.
Yeah, I hate generic sayings, but was it to go fast, go alone, to go far, go together?
100%. I love that. That makes sense. Perfect sense to me.
Well, it's a good one to end on. So, thank you again for your time. It was amazing. And
no problem.
How have you found it?
Me. Yeah, I think it was beautiful. Loved it. It was really great. I can't wait to see the clips now.
Good.
See me chatting some breeze.
It was amazing. Thank you.
No, thank you for having me. Appreciate it.